All rise. Voivolve. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience à la Cour Penal International est ouverte. Please be seated. Voix va se sworn.
Thank you very much. Court officer, please, the case.
Thank you, Mr. President. The situation in the Republic of Kenya in the case of the prosecutor versus William Samuel Ruto and Joshua Rapsang. ICC 0109-0111. We're in open session.
Thank you very much. Appearances?
Morning, Mr. President, Your Honors. Appearances are the same for the prosecution, save for the fact that Mr. Steinberg is not here this morning and will be back in the second session.
Good morning, Your Honors. For the victims, James Maria, Charlotte Devina, and myself, Orson Nance. Thank you.
Your Honors, Mr. Bourgeois, duty counsel.
Good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors. Today, the team for Mr. Joshua Rapsang remains the same, with one addition, since Cynthia Bondi joined us today.
Mr. President, Your Honors, good morning. The team for Mr. Ruto remains the same.
Thank you very much. And witness, welcome back to the courtroom. We are in open session, and Ms. Bausman will continue cross-examination. Remember the advice given to you earlier. Just listen carefully to the question, one question at a time. You understand the question and then answer it as briefly as possible, but giving the answer that in your mind the question calls for. Also remember, it's important to observe the 5 seconds pause. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Bausman, we're in open session.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, we had some translation and transcription difficulties that have now been resolved. I think our team has provided you with a copy. We have given a new number to the translation and transcription that I would like to read into the record. One is for William Kirwa. This is a core binder tab 30, and the new number is KEN D11-0021-0120, and you've all been given a new copy in your binder. It's the assistants of the judges who have helped with that. So, given that we now have a translation and a transcription, and this is for William Kirwa, we talked about it yesterday. I would like to put it to the witness, have him listen to it, and have him also have a look at the translation and see if it's accurate. If the court officer would be so kind to give the witness a copy.
There is an index also supplied.
I beg your pardon.
There is an index also supplied this morning. Is that the case?
Yes, and it refers to the new ERN number at core binder tab 30.
All right. Does the new index update the old one, or what?
It does.
All right, okay.
And I would like to play the audio, which is KEN D11-0013-0057.
Chamge mising biikab Kalenjin ang woi tugul olomitei kainenyu ko William Arap Kirwa ne Managing Director nebo ADC. Kameche kityo asoma biikchok chebo Kalenjin eng ole tugul olomi ng'etege biikchok chebo tulwo. Chamge mising ak biikchok chebo Nandi, biikchok chebo Kiyu ang woi tugul olomitei chebo Kipsigis, biikchok chebo Tugen, biikchok chebo Merkwete. Asomok tugul koboto biikchok chebo Pokot eng tugul olomi. Alen ongerib kalyet. Iman mi ng'alek chekoromen eng emet, ako asome murenikchok kimutyon ng'alechu asikiro ole teptoi emenyo matwachi ng'ung'unyan nga biikab Kalenjin. Ako asome kot mising ale ongimutyon kalyet. Korong kasome biikchok chebo Kalenjin, asome nekonyitot President Mwai Kibaki, ak asome kora Raila Odinga kotebi ng'uny ako ng'ololjin asikocheng kalyet eng emoninyo. Ngomukak kocheng komiti nebo biik chebunu kebeberta age tugul asikochikil oleu ng'alekab biretab kura asikotok iman kemwochi biikchok imanda. Kokotee kotestai choto biikchok kokasom kandoichuto aeng kotebi ng'uny akong'ololjin. Asome ale ongimutyon ng'alek ongetebi kou chokocham ketepchei. Kiketach biik chechang biikab Kalenjin kobwa emenyo. Kiketach biik chebunu komoswek chechang. Kokasome kot mising ale ongerib kalyet, ongimutyon ng'alechu, ongesom, ongerib amu kibo Kenya tugul. Ako nenyo emoni biikchok chebo Kalenjin. Mi biikchok alake chemi Rift Valley, komi chemi Nairobi ak kemi oi tugul eng emoninyo. Ko asome kot mising ale kotee kotokotom kochulukis ng'alechu anan kechule ng'alechu kokakesom serikali ko ongerib kalyet. Kongoi kot mising konyo nebo Kalenjin.
Mr. Witness, did you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You recognize the voice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will you please tell us who that was?
It's the voice of a former MD of ADC, William Kiro.
Did you hear this message previously?
Yes, Your Honor.
And our date is the 3rd of January 2008. Does that correspond to your recollection of when you would have heard it, approximately?
Not sure about the dates, but I can remember him talking at radio.
But in that period, following the announcement of the elections. Then I will now read into the record the English translation. And
All right, 1 second before be on the lookout for the transcript. There are inaudibles. I know that his last answer at line 12 was yes. Witness, can you come closer to the microphone, please? Yes, and lean in the direction. Okay.
So I would like to read into the record the English translation. And Mr. Witness, if you could follow with me on the documents that you've been provided, and then I will ask you again if it's a fair translation. Greetings, Kalenjin people, wherever you are. My names are William Arap Kirwa, the Managing Director of ADC. I just wanted to request you, our people of Kalenjin, wherever you are, from our people in Hills of the Coney, Mount Elgon, and our Nandi people, our Keyu people, our Kipsigis people, our Tugen people, our Marakwet people. I request all of you, including our Pokot people, wherever you are, that please let us keep peace. True, there are weighty issues in the country. However, I beg our men to calm down these issues so that we see how our country will stay. Nobody will touch our soil, Kalenjin people. I pray so much that we promote peace. Also, I request the Honorable President Mwai Kibaki and Raila Odinga to sit down and discuss between themselves so as to get peace in our country. If possible, they should get a committee of people from both sides so that they analyze how these issues of how votes were cast, so that the truth can come out and we tell our people the truth. Even as this goes on, our people, I request these two leaders to sit down and talk to each other. I request that we calm down issues. Let us stay as we always stayed. We have received so many people as Kalenjins to our land. We have received people from various places. I request so much that let us keep peace. Let us calm those issues. I request let us keep, because we all belong to Kenya. This country belongs to all of us. This country belongs to us Kalenjin people. We also have other people in Rift Valley, and we have others in Nairobi and all over this country of ours. Therefore, I request so much that for us, for as long as these issues have not been sorted out, or as they are being sorted out, we request the government to keep peace. Thank you so much, our Kalenjin House. Witness, do you confirm this is a fair translation of the Kalenjin audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you confirm, even though you don't know the explicit dates, that someone from PNU, you hear someone on PNU on Radio KZN in the immediate aftermath calling for peace as well as a solution between ODM and PNU, correct?
I can confirm that he was one of the PNU.
Thank you, witness. May I tender this document now into evidence, please?
Prosecutor.
Just a couple of issues, Your Honor. It still hasn't been confirmed by the witness as to what station or where he heard this message. And the line 12 on page 4, which is also important, is still as inaudible. I think those matters need to be cleared up. But I do confirm that the witness says he's heard this before, but we still don't know from where.
Mr. President, I believe, but I will clarify it with the witness. I believe he said it yesterday. Witness, did you hear him speak on KZN?
Yes, I can remember he speaks in KZN, but I don't know the real date.
Thank you.
Mr. Khan.
Mr. President, no objections, and if it assists, of course, I'm in the court's hands. It may save time, Your Honours. I can indicate, having looked at the documents of the SANG team, we have no objections to any of them. If that should change, of course, I will rise.
I will always call on you one at a time.
Okay, Your Honour. Okay.
Document at a time. The document is admitted as the next SANG defense exhibit. We've noted the concern or the indication by Mr. Kessia as to some things being indicated inaudible. There are also things indicated inaudible in the prosecutor's own transcripts from time to time. We've admitted materials of that nature as well. The document is admitted.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The public audio bearing number KEN D11 00130057 will bear the number EVD T D11 00067. Its transcript and translation bearing the new ERN number KEN D11 0021 0120 will bear the number EVD T D11 00068. Both documents are public.
Thank you. Ms. Bassman.
Thank you. If I could clarify, I believe the inaudible part that my learned colleague is referring to, and he might correct me if I'm wrong, is the answer to the question whether or not he listened after the election results were announced. And I believe he said yes, but let me confirm with the witness. It is in that, it's page 4, line 12. Did you say yes, Mr. Witness?
About what?
Did you listen to this message at some point in the immediate aftermath of the announcement of the election results?
That's why I'm saying that I listened, but I cannot remember when.
Witness, you just heard this message. Can you confirm that you heard him say that nobody will touch our soil, Kalenjin people? Did you hear him say that?
I cannot confirm that.
And can you confirm that he said, we have received so many people as Kalenjins to our land. We have received people from various places. I request so much that let us keep peace. Is that something you heard?
I can still remember that he talked about peace, but I cannot still remember the contents of the message.
So if I can summarize, you do not remember the exact words,
yes,
but the same gesture, would
yes,
that be fair that you heard?
Yes, Your Honor.
I would then like to move to another document we spoke about yesterday, and this is the audio of Koske. Again, we had the difficulty of translation and transcription, but we have now a new number for the translation and transcription, which is KEN-D11-0021-0125. And it's on tab 29 of the core binder. Yesterday you confirmed that you know Reverend Koske. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
I would like to listen to that tape again, and if the witness could be provided with a copy of the translation and the transcription, so he could follow as we go along. Thank you.
That's all right, witness.
Okay.
If you need some time to clear your throat, please do so.
Okay.
And the number of the audio is KEN-D11-0013-0056. And if I could have the floor, I would like to listen to it now.
Ojomege konyo bakalenjin ane ko Reverend Koskei nega kibaitinikab Jehovah chekiboisiei tugul bishops chun chekinemu somet nebo kalyet biikab kalenjin kakenyoru tobotet neo kekas kele kakokwo boriet ipkobel kanisosiek akobel biik kakoechekitu mising biikyok ochuchuch oyeotustus biikyok Ogas kit nekakomwa arap Ruto kole kakonam kandoik chebo ng'alekab polotet kong'alale ng'alechuton ako kong'alalchi biik chechang kokicheng'e oret nebo ng'alechuton tugul kotoretech Jehova. Kisomok anyun bikyok ui tugul olomitei, kisomok murenik, kisomok boisiek, kisomok biik tugul. Oye ongeyai kalyet, ongitustus, onginyamnyum mugulelwekyok, makimuchi kesuldaen neregek, amakimuchi ketoret emet ak ketoretkei ngot kebeng neregek. Mong kotertere kit neya, ako ngiterter kit neya eng nemie. Bikyok moome kiy, mi Jehova kobotech, kicheng oret. Kokokas ako kakokasak neregekab bikyok. Ara anyun otustus, amobe osir kiwoto, o sobondab chi, o Mungu, ongeriren biik tugul. Ongitustus, boriet eng uitul olomitei. Kakisomok akokas eng kainetab Jehova, mabete oret. Kongoi mising.
Mr. Witness, did you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you recognize the voice?
Yes, I do.
Could you please tell us who that was, please?
It was Reverend Koske.
Could I tender this document also into evidence? I probably need to first read the English translation into the record. Mr. Witness, do you recall having heard this message in the aftermath of the announcement of the elections?
I can't recall, but I'm still reading that during that time. There were several clergymen who went to the station, including him. But the time, I cannot remember.
Did you hear him at KSFM?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll now read into the record the...
Yeah, before you do, let's correct the transcript. Where we see inaudible in line 14, the witness said clergymen who went to the station at that time, but cannot remember. Witness, can you come closer to the mic and speak more with greater force to the voice? If you need.
Okay, yeah.
The question the lawyer asked you was whether you heard this message by Reverend Koske in the aftermath of the announcement of the election results. Can you please give us your answer again?
I have indicated, Your Honor, that I listened to the message, which was not from him alone, including other clergymen or church bishops.
Thank you. Ms. Bajman.
Then I would now read into the record the English translation, and again I would like you to follow me on the document, and if there's any problem with the translation I would like you to let me know. Hello, the House of KenyaMOJA. This is Reverend Koske on behalf of other bishops, servants of God, that we work together. We want to appeal for peace from the KenyaMOJA people. We have been terrified hearing that the war has extended to the burning of churches and burning of people. That has intensified beyond our people. Jews, please exercise restraint. Our people, You have heard what Arab Ruto has said, that political leaders have started talks on these issues. And he's spoken to many people. So we are seeking for solutions, all this being assisted by God. We are appealing to you, our people, wherever you are. We are appealing to you, men. We are appealing to you, elders. We are appealing to everyone. Please, let's maintain peace. Let us exercise restraint. Let us soften our hearts. We cannot resolve anything with anger, and we cannot help our country and ourselves if we proceed with anger. Do not be overpowered by the bad things, but let us overpower the bad things with the good things. Our people, nothing will affect us. God, Jehovah, is with us. We are looking for solutions. It has been heard, and the anger of our people has been heard. So now, exercise restraint and do not exceed the borders. Overreact. Someone's life is paramount. God is great. Let us have mercy to all people. Restraint from the war wherever you are. We have appealed to you, and please listen in God's name. We cannot lack solution. Thank you very much. Witness, could you follow that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this a fair translation of what you heard in Kalenjin?
Yes, I can confirm that.
Could I please tender this document as our next exhibit?
Mr. Garcia?
Just one comment before, Your Honor. It seems that there are two different answers from the witness on the question of whether he heard this before or not. If we look at page 10, and that's the answers at lines 13 and 14, it says, at the time I cannot remember, and then afterwards when the court, you yourself, Mr. President, asked him the question, he says, he gives a different answer, or looks different. I have indicated, Your Honor, that I listened to the message, which is not for him alone, including other clergymen or church bishops. So if the witness indeed confirms at some point clearly that he did hear this message, then the prosecution has no objection. But if he says he cannot remember having heard this message, then the prosecution will object on the basis that the authenticity of this recording has not been demonstrated.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes.
It's our position that the identification of the voice is sufficient. We can argue about dates, and also Mr. Witness did confirm that he heard him on KSFM, even if the date was not specific. So the date can be argued at a later stage. But in terms of authenticity, voice recognition should suffice.
Your Honor, there's a serious problem with that type of argument, is that what the defense is putting to the court and to the witness is that this is a recording, something that would have been broadcasted on KSFM at a certain time period. So the voice as such is not sufficient, and we've done this with other recordings. If the witness is able to indicate or give some evidence on the record that he heard this before, then yes, indeed, there is indicia of reliability and authenticity. But if the witness can't give that evidence, then how are we to know exactly if this was or not broadcasted? And I notice as well, and the main preoccupation of the prosecution here is that Mr. Sang himself is in the metadata as being part of the chain of custody. And this has happened with other recordings of this nature in the past, and I think they've been MFI'd instead. The witness recognizes the voice, that's fine, but we still don't know if this was broadcasted on KSFM, and that's why defense counsel has always been asking the witness for other recordings if the witness has heard this in the past. And that's just to put on the record some indicia of the authenticity. It's not the case in regards to this recording at this point in time.
Witness, we've got you on this in the witness seat. You've heard what the lawyers are saying. Now help us. Clarify the matter, if you can. if you cannot, don't feel that you must. But the question now is whether you heard Reverend Kosgei at about the time in the period after the announcement of the election results, and the debate now is whether you are saying that you do not remember hearing Reverend Kosgei specifically, or that you had several clergymen and Reverend Kosgei may be one of them, although you cannot remember? Or what? Can you help us? What is it?
Your Honor, this message was repeated several times, and I can confirm that I listened to Reverend Kosgei that particular moment. But I cannot exactly remember the time or the day, but I can confirm Kosgei was among the people who sent a message to the radio about this message.
All right. Thank you very much. That is very helpful. Mr. Khan?
Mr. President, in light of the witness's answer, I see no basis to object.
The document is admitted as the audio and the transcripts and translation are admitted as the next signed defense exhibit.
The audio bearing number KEN D11 0013 0056 will bear the number EVD T D11 00069. Its transcript and translation bearing the new ERN number KEN D11 0021 0125 will bear the number EVD T D11 00070. Both documents are public.
Thank you. Ms. Bassman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Witness, for confirming that. And you did testify at some point about the Kiamba burning, and I believe you heard about it on the 1st of January 2008. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I would like you to confirm, I'm looking again at this document, and I would like you to confirm that you heard Reverend Kosgei referring to the following. I'm just reading it out to be very clear on the record. We want to appeal for peace from the Kalenjin people. We have been terrified hearing that the war has extended to the burning of churches and burning of people. Did you hear that when you listened to the message?
I cannot confirm that because I just say I listened, but I cannot remember what kind of message it was, but for peace. But
with the court's permission, I would like to play out the first paragraph again, and if you could listen with us and confirm.
Yes,
The witness is saying, one second. The witness is saying that he remembers the Reverend Kosgei's message, but he does not remember the details of the time. Isn't that what he's saying?
But you did hear him talk about burning of churches and burning of people.
I can say I hear him talking about peace, but I cannot remember him talking about burning of churches or whatever. I can I have already confirmed that I listened to him talking about peace, but I cannot still remember the contents of what he said.
I understand, but when you listen to the audio we just played,
yes,
is that what you heard?
Yes, that's what I hear.
And does that confirm that it is in that time period, because you heard about it on the 1st of January, and I mean it's our submission. This
Ms.
audio.
Bassman, you can make that argument. We have to move on.
Then I'd like to move on to another peace message. And yesterday you told us that you were certain that Bethel Kiplagat, you heard him make a peace message in that time period. Do you remember saying that?
I remember.
And about Sumbeyo, Lazara Sumbeyo, you confirmed that you heard other people say it, although you were not exactly sure yourself. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in terms of Saila Arab Yigo, you said that, well, he was sort of part of the clergyman who probably also made a peace announcement, but you were not 100% sure. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you were very certain of Kiplagat. That's
yes,
right.
Your Honor. Yes.
I would like you to listen to another peace message. This is at Core Binder 8, and the number is, for the audio, it's KEN D11-0011-0037, that's the audio, and the translation has the same number, but 0038. And I would like the court report to provide the witness with a copy so that he can follow as we go along.
Of course, you mean go by the tab 8.
Yes. Mr. Witness.
Jehovah amu koimutwech kot kenyoru kenyit nelel. Kimache kesain nguno Jehovah mising ketokchini sauti chu bororienyo nebo Kalenjin. Kingen kele ichame bororioni Jehovah. Kisikoit ng'alekuk chetililen bororietab Kalenjin. Ako kiikwei kandoik kobun bororietab Kalenjin. Jehovah kimwoe kongoi. Kingen kele teitesetai iyoe kounoto. Aranyun Jehovah eng betusiechu chekitinye nyigisinwek cheterter nguni. Yetinye biik pichinwek, kesome Jehovah ibu kalyeng'ung nebunu kipsengwet nemakonu chi. Sikobit koguiyo biikyo kotebi eng kalyet ak biik alak. Toretech we Jehovah amu itinye kalyanata inyendet. Kisome irongwech kalyanata nguno kokitou kenyit nelel rani tarik 1. Kot komutai kekose kele bendoti biik tugul eng kalyet. Jehovah toretech. Ngot komi nyigisin age tugul netinye biik eng mugulelwekwak, konai ortinwek chekiyoe. Ara toretech Jehovah kounoto. Kimache kiyan kele itoretech ak ng'ololchini chi age tugul eng bororienyo eng kainetab Jesu ne yetindenyo. Amen.
Mr. Witness, could you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We stopped at 2 minutes and 5 seconds for the record. And I would like to read this into the record. And Mr. Witness, I'd like you to kindly look with me through the document and tell me if anything is inaccurate. Starting from paragraph 2. I would now like to pray for you all wherever you are tuned in to KSFM radio station. Jehovah, our Father, we thank you very much because you love us. Thank you, Jehovah, because you love our nation, Kenya. Thank you, Jehovah, because you have brought us until we have seen the new year. Now we would like to pray, Jehovah, especially for our Kalenjin people. We know you love these people, Jehovah. Your holy word reached the Kalenjin people early on, and you anointed leaders from among the Kalenjin people. Jehovah, we say thank you. We know you will continue to do so. And now, Jehovah, during these days when our hearts are heavy as a result of different challenges, when people face danger, we beseech you, Jehovah, to give us your peace which comes from heaven, which no man gives, so that our people understand how to live in peace with other people. Help us, O Jehovah. You have that peace yourself. We beseech you to pour that peace on us as we begin the new year. Today the 1st, so that tomorrow we will hear reports of people walking in peace. God help us. If there is any heaviness that people feel in their hearts, let them know how to deal with it. Help us, Jehovah, in that manner. We want to believe that you will help us and that you will speak with each person among our people. In the name of Jesus, our Redeemer. Amen. Is that a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
It is.
And did you hear indeed that he referred to the beginning of the new year and he was saying today the 1st? Did you hear that also in Kalenjin?
Yes, Your Honor.
And just for the record, we have the affidavit also of this bishop. It's at Core Binder tab 18. And in his affidavit, he announces he made peace messages.
That's not right, Miss. Then Miss Bousman.
I am aware that we cannot bring in affidavits in that way, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. Mr. Witness, listening to this peace message, did you hear it before?
As I indicated yesterday, I cannot confirm, but I heard that he talked about peace. That is Bishop Silas Yeko. But I cannot, confirm the time, and because actually on fast, I was not in a stable place.
But what you heard,
yes,
was
I heard.
It on CAS FM?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did it have the same gist, talking of peace?
Yes, he's talking about peace.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I would like to move on with the tape to voice 2.
Ane yu Bethwell Kiblagati kogagibwa ak tupche sekyu kogibwane saet mamigege ni gebwane rani kogibwane saet kogitau genyit neleli kogegere gele ing betu ne brani ngalek kogikas koginyoru kobunu emetab bigap Kalenjin ko kogunyigisitu mugulelwekyok kegase gelen in kabarge biik kagiamge agutani magong'ololdos biik kokoshindosi ko kit kityo nekokisome kuni ingiman ko kikebe kiowendoti emotinwek chechang ak atoreti biik sikotuiyo kong'ololso biik chekiboregei ngokoli kibo Sudani angoko Mozambique angoko chumareyu kokero in television ng'ololjini bichu mutu kwanyu.
Mr. Witness, did you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you recognize the voice?
Yes, I do.
Could you please tell us who that was?
The voice of Ambassador Bethwell Kiplagat.
And just to confirm, you were certain that you heard him in the aftermath of the announcement of the election. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me just read this first paragraph into the record. And also for the record, we stopped at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I here, Bethel Kiplagat, have come here with my brothers. We have come for prayer. There is nothing else we have come for today. But we have come for prayer as we begin the new year. And we are seeing that today we have obtained information from the land of the Kalenjin people. And our hearts are heavy. We are hearing that people have killed one another, harmed ourselves. People no longer speak and agree with one another. So my request is this. True, we have gone. I've been to many countries and assisted to facilitate dialogue among people. People who were at war with each other in Sudan, in Marika, in Mozambique, or in Somalia. And you saw me on television speaking with these people until I brought them. Is that a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then I would like to proceed until the end of his message.
Ngine taini majamwa kuni mami ji engsang ne muji koges ngolyondo ni ipwe kondoik chebo emoni kondoik ab Kalenjin kondoik chebunu Kenya tugul ko icheket as cheimuchi mami ji age nemuchi kwai boisioni kwanyun nguno kokosokose kelenin kimi biji kitieme mi barab sumbeiwo ko boisiet nekiyoe kumilin kile kakichenge kenyoru in solution ngalechu kini kiyoe kokisoe akebeb kenyoru kimasini kengololji bidu kengololji kimasi age kejobojobi sikotuiyo bichu kimoche kotuiyo bichu akongololso nebo oeng kalyet kumemuchi konyo kalyet inegei ama mi imanda ngomami imanda kumemukoksei kwakase amutan kutamwai kwakase manajara kwakase ngololi ole a peace must go with justice. It is peace with justice. Kogin kokisome nemukoksei.
Ms. Passman, I see you've sat down. This looks like a long transcript. I hope your plan isn't to sit down, get to the end, and ask this witness to confirm the whole thing.
I have a question or two.
No, you have to make it manageable out of fairness for the witness. Little chunks, you stop and ask a question, if that is what you intend to do. We now see the point where it is peace with justice. That was in English. If you want to now stop there and have the witness testify to the transcript to the extent that he can, we'll move on.
I'm guided. Mr. Witness, did you hear that?
What?
Did you hear that properly? The audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm just going to read out into the record our English translation, and please tell me if it is a fair translation. So the first thing I would like to say is this. No outsider can come and bring to an end the issue at hand, except the leaders of this nation, Kalenjin leaders. Leaders from the whole nation of Kenya. It is they who can. No one else can manage to accomplish this task. So now you may have heard it said that there were some people attempting. Arab Sumbeyo is here. The task we are engaged in does not seek to find a solution to this impasse. What we are doing is to pray, and then to approach the other side and speak with them, and speak also with this other side, work things out so that the two sides can meet and dialogue. Secondly, peace cannot come on its own without justice. If there is no justice, it is not possible. You even heard me talk about this yesterday. You heard, perhaps some of you listened to me as I spoke yesterday, saying, peace must go with justice. It is peace with justice. Is that a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember having heard this particular message?
I remember Mr. Bethwell Kiplagat, but I can still say I cannot still remember the contents of the message, but it was for peace. I remember Bethwell Kiplagat.
Thank you. And for the record, we stopped at 4 minutes 22. So if we could now carry on until the end of this particular voice.
How long is that? Let's do it. Maybe 1 or 2 extracts at once.
I will.
Not more than that.
We will stop
Yes.
at some point.
kenyoru boroindo kidogo kosisyo ngalechu kong'yosisyo nguno kakibarate ke kalia shida ni kakitinye ni sikotuiyo biik kong'ololso koi kakamwa ale makimuchi kot kikesu ngalechu amamwa biik imanda konde mesa ngalek akole ni neya keng'ololso keker kele wo iman ni achicha ko ngemache anyun nguno solution ing ki age tugul ni konyo kitinye ortinwek oeng. Agenge ko ne kakiboisie nguvu, kakiboisie kimnotet. Sait age kimuchi man keng'et in keiste kiyoto nekomi. Lakini eng boisiet nekikayai ngo ka Sudan ngo ano komuchi kobargei biik lakini kokait mwisho awe ng'ololso bichu. Mami oret age ipkoeki kotebiso ng'ony biik ako ng'ololso. Ichegei chuto chu chebo barak ko ng'ololso ako konyor oret nekimuchi keib kalyet netinye kimnotet netinye tikitik. Lakini ngot kele kityo kalne nebo barak kityo amakimwa makiba orit kele ne nekiib shida ini ko makimuchi ketoret.
Mr. Witness, did you follow this audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
And for the record, we stopped at 5.45. It's at page 0040 of the translation. Actually, 0041. It goes into 0041 of the translation into English. I would now like to read it in English. And Mr. Witness, if again you could look with me. And so I'm reading it out, and you tell me if it's an accurate translation. So the only thing I would like to request is that, if possible, the opportunity arises and the problem subsides. Once it subsides, why are we fighting now? This trouble that we are facing, then people can meet and dialogue. As I have already mentioned, we cannot address this problem unless people tell the truth. People to come out openly and mention all the underlying issues. Then it be discussed and agreement reached regarding which of the highlighted issues is true and which is not. So if we now want a solution to anything that comes along, we have 2 ways. One is whereby we use force. We use force. Sometimes we can actually succeed in eliminating the existing challenge. However, from experience, work that we have done, be it in Sudan, be it wherever else, people can fight, but in the end they must engage in dialogue. There's not another way other than for people to sit down and dialogue among themselves, these ones at the top, to engage and come up with a way to attain peace. A peace that has strength, that has roots. But if we merely pronounce peace in a superficial way, without going deep to establish the root cause of the present trouble, then we cannot be helped. Did you follow that?
Yes, God.
Is it a fair translation?
Yes.
Then we go on with the last part of this voice, please.
Kini kosome kityo alen ndaki arire agere lagok arire agere chepyosok konyoru shida neko boisioni shida ako ngonyo ki nguno kuni komelen bichun buni kichege che nyalildos anan che beitosi achek tugul uyo kimite melit agenge mami etage siko kimite tugul eta agenge kongoto chito nguno kobalabal in konda sikobwa beek ing melit ko melit ko tugul achek tugul chikebendi ko nguno Kenya ini ngokono ngoko Eldoret ngokono kongeker tugesiek kakiker in mami ule kenyorune mwanik ko achek tugul mami makilen istimasini ichegei ko kosome kityo alen arire mami yake asoe akarire ale ongecheng oret nekimuchi keiste shida ini.
Thank you, witness. Did you hear that, Mr. Witness? Did you follow the audio?
Yes.
And we stopped at 6.38. Just going to read out the English translation, and Mr. Witness, if you could read with me and tell me if it's accurate. The one thing I'm requesting is how I wish. I weep as I see children. I weep as I see women facing trouble until work has become a problem. Yet, when something like this comes up, it will not harm only the people on the other side, our enemies alone. It's not only they who will die, it will be us all. It is like we are in the same boat. There's no other place except where you may be. We are all in the same place. So if one now begins to dig a hole to allow water into the boat, it will be us all who will perish. So, now here in Kenya, wherever the place, whether it is Eldoret or wherever, when shops are closed, there is no place when we get fuel. It affects us all. There is nothing. It cannot be said that it is only the other side. So my only request is, I weep, nothing else. I pray and I weep, urging us to find a way to avert this current crisis. Mr. Witness, can you confirm if that is an accurate and fair translation?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you also confirm that at the beginning of this message, he was speaking about Sudan, Mozambique, and Somalia? Do you recall that in the audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recall that also in the peace message you heard in 2008?
I
Witness, did you give an answer?
I say that yes, but it's long time ago. I cannot still remember the contents, but it was a peace message.
The question from Ms. Bausman was, again, think about it and see if you recall, but her question was that in the audio, there are references to certain countries like Sudan, Mozambique, Somalia. Whether you recall hearing those countries mentioned in the comment by the ambassador at the time.
Yes, Your Honor, I can remember.
You remember hearing those countries mentioned at the time, that is after the election results,
Yes.
when he spoke?
Yes, when he spoke, he referred to that countries because he has been negotiating peace in those countries.
But do you recall hearing him at the time in his speech mention those countries?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Proceed.
And you just said it, so you do confirm, you also remember that he did this, he facilitated dialogue among people in Sudan, in Mozambique and Somalia. You confirm that you were aware of that?
I was aware.
Thank you, witness. Then we go to the voice number 3, and then we'll go through the same procedure.
Kochamege biikab Kalenjin, ane kekurono General Lazaro Arap Sumbeywa. Kiomi oin yu ong'ololwok eng betut nekimong'u tuguk chekibo kweisiet. Kiolechok omurnokiron ak omurneketo chepyosok singoityo komakiyai tugun cheyachen, komakiyai tuguk cheyach. Kumelen kile kiomwowok ale siket.
Mr. Witness, did you hear the audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you recognize the voice?
I cannot because I've never been listening to him too much.
Thank you, witness. In that case, we will stop here. I just want to say for the record, we stopped at 7.09, and this is at page 0041 of the translation. Given that he has identified 2 voices of the 3 and confirmed that he was quite clear, particularly about voice 2 and about the specific message, I would like to tender this document into evidence.
Mr. Garcia.
Your Honor, indeed, given the witness's answer in regard to the second voice, the prosecution has no objection as to that part going in, obviously. But in regards to the first voice, and more particularly even the third voice, the witness doesn't even recognize the third voice. So we're confronted with the issue of the fact that the witness cannot confirm that what is in the transcript was indeed broadcasted on the air of Cast FM by the third voice. So we could obviously, I leave it in the court's hand, admit the document, but with those reservations made by the prosecution.
Ms. Bausman, any reply?
Yes, as far as the first voice is concerned, there is even a reference to the 1st of January, which would assist in identifying it. He also did recognize the voice, and he was quite clear. He wasn't exactly sure like he was with the second voice, but he did recall that he was making a peace message at Kasavem in that period. So I think there's sufficient, and it's also one audio. Unless the suggestion is that we've put in a third voice, I don't see how that would actually go to the authenticity of this audio, and I would ask for the entire audio to be admitted.
The point is, you insisting that it be admitted at the instance of this witness's testimony, even as regards voice number 3. Is that your position, Ms. Bousman?
Well, it is, because it's one audio. And we've had other audios, like the KasFM staff. We also admitted it as one document. There was one voice that he didn't particularly recall. Yes, that's my submission, unless there is a suggestion that we have put different audios together. But, I mean, our main concern is, of course, with voice 1 and 2, but I would ask that the entire audio be admitted.
Well, the material will be admitted, but not at this stage. We're not ruling that it is admitted for purposes of voice number 3.
I'm guided.
Yes. That's not to say that you may not argue the point at the appropriate time, but the prosecution has noted their reservation in that regard. When the time comes, if you don't prove it up beyond this, then it will be matter for argument between the two sides. Mr. Khan, I didn't get back to you, I promised to.
Mr. President, I have no observations
Yes.
in light of the ruling of the court.
Yes, indeed. The document, the audio and the transcripts are admitted with the observations already made on record.
The audio bearing number KEN D11 0011 0037 will bear the number EVD T D11 00071. Its transcript and translation bearing number KEN D11 0011 0038 will bear the number EVD T D11 00072. Both documents are public.
Thank you very much. Ms. Baisman.
Thank you, Mr. President. You'll be pleased to know we're almost through with the peace messages. We have just 2 very small ones to place before the witness. The witness, we spoke about William Ruto yesterday, and we already had you listen to one audio that had his voice on it. Do you recall that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You recognize the voice?
I do.
I'd like to place one more audio, and this is the core binder 11. The audio has an MFI.
You have to say core binder tab 11 because core binder 11 might be confusing for somebody who's looking at the transcripts later on in the proceedings.
I'll take your suggestion. Core binder tab 11. The audio has an MFI, but the transcript has not been used yet. It's a message in English, so we don't have the transcription problem. I'll give you the exact reference. The MFI for the audio is MFI T-D11-00026. And the audio itself is KEN-DLL-0013-0058. And then the transcript is at KEN-DLL-0014 0083. I would like that to be placed before the witness. If someone could assist. And if I have the floor, I would like to listen to the audio.
ODM believes that the loss of life, the destruction of property that is going on in our country is unnecessary and warranted and should stop immediately. Urgent steps should be taken. We are prepared as the ODM to make urgent steps towards resolving this issue. We just hope the other side realizes the urgency with which the situation in our country needs to be dealt with.
Ani Bishop Stephen Kewasis, Nyaba AC.
Mr. Witness, did you hear that on the audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you recognize the voice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will you please confirm on the record who that was?
It's the voice of William Ruto, Honorable.
Mr. Witness, did you hear this message before?
I cannot confirm that.
But yesterday you did confirm you heard Mr. Ruto during that period on Kass FM?
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling for peace? That's correct?
Yes.
So do you confirm that during that period, ODM, most notably Honorable Ruto, asked to stop the violence?
Through William Ruto or through the party?
Let's do it step by step. Through ODM.
Yes, I could hear that ODM was also trying to make peace, but I cannot remember that side of this story.
Just, I think I should still read it into the records, even though it was in English. It reads as follows. ODM believes that the loss of life, the destruction of property that is going on in our country is unnecessary, unwarranted, and should stop immediately. Urgent steps should be taken. We are prepared as the ODM to make urgent steps towards resolving these issues. We just hope the other side realizes the urgency with which the situation is in our country needs to be dealt with. In light of the recognition of the voice, I would like the transcript, which wasn't used before, to be MFI'd.
Will be MFI'd.
And then one last.
1 second. The document KEN D11 0014 0083 will bear the number MFI T D11 00073. The document is public.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. There's one last recording that I would like to place before the witness, and this is at Core Binder tab 31. His audio is KEN-DL11-0013-0060. And we have a translation, which is new, and the number is KEN-DL11-0021-0123. And I would like to listen to this short message and ask the witness if he recognizes the voice.
Ane Thomas Kokon by Lore Diocese. Amajale Uye Burgenyo, Urib Tumono, Uriboyo, Urib Jebioso, Urib Lakwa, Uribo Ruto Yanasirtoy, Gutartega Mukta and that Aganam Yugan Baragilo, Yugunyu Gat Kiptaya, you have Koyo, Agatastan Gararan, Urakyo.
Mr. Witness, could you follow the audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you recognize the voice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you please tell us who that was?
It was the voice of the Bishop of Eldoret, Thomas Koko.
Then I will read this into the record, and please look with me at the document and tell me if it's a fair translation. I am Thomas Kogo of Eldoret Diocese. I want to say, oh, our community, protect pregnant women, protect the old man, protect a woman, protect children, and protect even strangers passing by. May God help us and let us raise our hands that God forgives us, the Almighty, Chepo Kipkoyo, and let us continue well. May God bless you. Mr. Witness, is that a fair translation?
It is.
For the record, I will just spell the word that I said in Kalenjin, which is C-H-E-P-O-K, new word, K-I-P-K-O-Y-O. Mr. Witness, did you hear this message before?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recall if that was during the aftermath of the announcement of the election results?
About that time. I cannot remember that time.
Thank you, witness. May I ask that this document be tendered as our next exhibit?
Mr. Garcia?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Khan?
No objection.
The audio and the accompanying transcript admitted as the next signed defense exhibit.
The audio bearing number KEN D11-0013-0060 will bear the number EVD T D11-00074. Its transcripts bearing number KEN D11-0021-0123 will bear the number EVD T D11-00075. Both documents are public.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, are you aware that Joshua Arap Sang played a critical role in finding these people to announce peace at KazFM in the immediate aftermath of the election result announcement. Are you aware of that?
I cannot confirm if he was the one who was doing this or he was just doing it because of the policy of the KazFM.
Are you aware that Joshua Arap Sang was fundamental and played a critical role in recording and coordinating these messages? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I do.
Are you also aware that it was Joshua Arap Sang who played these peace messages in the aftermath of the announcement of the election results? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I do.
And also, are you aware that these messages were played over and over again? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And the reason for that is because they're pre-recorded messages, they are not live. Are you aware of that?
I'm not expert in knowing live or not live.
No problem. Are you aware that these peace messages were played together with music?
Yes.
Then I leave it here because I see the time. Thank you, Mr. Witness.
Indeed. Witness, will take our morning break and we'll come back in 30 minutes. The blinds will come down and the witness will be ushered out of the courtroom.